Old Trafford. What a day. What a day. Saturday, 17th of June. Lunchtime kickoff, 12:30. It could be anything, could have been anything. I didn't want to predict. I I just sat back and watched, hoped. I did like Carrick's press conference. I thought that came out really good. And overall, be it foreign, be it English, British, you name it, a United manager, United head coach, whatever title you want to give him, has to come out really well against the media, with the media, has to speak very well, come across with a lot of confidence and the right attitude. He showed that, he demonstrated that. The rest, how we played, that was on the boys. I don't think Carrick could have influenced the actual patterns of play too much. But I think, unlike what people are saying, and I've heard quite a few, people of authority talk on Man United, I still think, and I mentioned that against Fletcher, when Fletcher came, he had a way of playing, building up slowly at the back. And we imposed that literally with 1 day of training, 2 days of training. So I know Carrick could have imposed his philosophy. I just don't think he could have done much by way of the actual technicalities of the play. But United turned up today. And one thing which is about Michael Carrick is he did play a four at the back. He did play with at least 5 or 6 players attacking. And that's a big difference. That's a huge difference to Amorim. I don't want to start saying Carrick in and being a full-time manager and etc., etc. No, we're not saying about that. Similarly to Fletcher, I just think playing 4 at the back is very synonymous with United. And it's not just 4 at the back as in a fat 4, but you saw the fullbacks were bombarding. It's just we're leaving 1 player or 2 players at the back, fulcrum, taking care of their one-on-one player. And when you're at Man United, guys, without digressing away from the game, when you're at Man United, you have to be able to trust your defender, your linchpin, your libero, whoever you want to call that last defender, that last line. You have to be able to trust him to take care of the opposition player one-on-one. We can't be having situations where we've got 3 defenders to the opposition's 1 attacker. It just can't be the case. So I'm super happy that we're reverting back to the 4 at the back. Now, for this game in particular, we saw an overload of attack on the United front. We saw Mbeumo stretching the defense. We saw Amad Diallo joining in the attack. We saw on the left-hand side Patrick Dorgu being an absolute nuisance, causing havoc, being physical. We were playing in Manchester City's half. Now, we scored 2 offside goals, maybe even 3. I don't know why the third one was disallowed. Perhaps it was offside. But clearly, this was a planned thing from us. And I think City, in a way, fell into our traps because they were playing so high up. We couldn't have, we could have sat back or we could have attacked. And we got caught 2 or 3 times, not able to punish Manchester City, but we continued playing, guys. We continued playing on their shoulder. We were attacking, and brilliant victory. As a summary, we've scored 2 legitimate goals. We've scored 3 other goals, which were disallowed. I think all 3 for offside. We hit the crossbar in the first half. We hit the post, smashed it in the second half. That's already 7 clear-cut chances, which could have been legitimate goals. And then the keeper. I mean, I had to make a piece just on Donnarumma. My goodness. That guy was putting up save after save for them. I mean, Man United completely, in my opinion, decimated Manchester City 2-0. And Manchester City's best player was still Donnarumma, was still their keeper. That's a tribute to him. Well done to him. But I'm so happy. We sat him down. We punished him. We made him eat humble pie. Very happy for that. Now we kick on. So hi Kirsty C. Great to have you on. Hope you're cheering on United. All right. So let's start at the back. I don't think Sen Elements had much of a save to make. I can't recall it, at least. But you know, I speak about Donnarumma, and there was a point that Donnarumma was going to come to Man United. Unfortunately, he did not. But I must say, for me, I always also wanted a young keeper. Donnarumma is not someone who stays on for too long. I think he has one contract with the club, and after 2-3 years, he moves on. He has a great stint, top keeper, arguably the number one keeper in the world, and then he moves on. So even if he came at Man United, he wasn't never going to stay with us for. I think he's 26 years old, but he wasn't going to stay on for 10 years, was he? He's probably going to stay on for 4 to 5 years maximum, and then move on. So we needed a player who was going to be his understudy for the next 2 years at least. And so I was always going to hopefully go for Sen Elements, but I've got to be honest, I don't begrudge us going for him, because what a player he's been for us. Probably our most consistent player this season, including injuries and everything. He's not had an injury, not been kept out. He's been fit and continues to answer present to be on goal. So big up Lamens, and when we do the player ratings, he'll be getting a better than average score from me. I think his distribution was good, unlike the last game with Fletcher, where he clearly was told, keep passing the ball, have that slow build up. I just think it adds too much pressure for United defenders and keepers. It's already a very, very hard place to play football. It's already a big pressured situation. Today, what we saw with not just Lamens, but also the defense, is they were very no-nonsense. They didn't really give Manchester City, at least to start off with, where Manchester City were all about energy and closing down and pressing, etc. They did not give too much of a chance to Manchester City to really close. When the ball came in and it needed to be cleared to Rosette, we did that. So, big up. All right. We've got some more comments. Yes, the Reds. What's your favorite color? Well, it's got to be red. It's got to be red at the moment, right? Red for Red Devils. Red for Man United. Tedward, hi to you too. Okay, so that's Lamens. The defense. What did I say, guys? If as defense, and I said this in the preview, I'm glad to be proven right, and I will take credit there. Not that I said something which was genius, but it was clear as day for all to see throughout the season. When we've got the defense in check, be it 5 at the back, 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it, or 4 at the back, if we play the right, if we have the basic principles in football correct, i.e. remain close to one another, move with one another, stay in line, we've got a great chance of keeping a clean sheet. And if we keep a clean sheet, if our defense does not muck up, we would have taken something out of the game. Because this Man City side is not one to score spectacular goals. You won't have, like a Company coming up in midfield, a defender coming up in midfield and shooting 40 yards and scoring top corner. Very, very rarely. Rodri, for all his great attributes, he's a tiki-taka playmaker. He is not someone who will, necessarily unlock a defense. And today we saw with Erling Haaland, he didn't get a sniff. He barely had one shot on goal, which Martinez closed down, and that was it. So if, as a defense, we're not giving them a kick, I knew we could not just take something out of the game as a 0-0, because we have all the attributes to score goals. We've shown that even in the Amorim era. Guys, one thing I do want to lay stress upon, Amorim had the second or third best attack in terms of scoring goals this season. So we've done relatively well. However, we were not opening teams up because Amorim still had 6 to 7 defensive-minded players. When we play a back four, it's not just about the system. We could play in any system. But when we have played in this system and we've got one number 6, all of a sudden we've automatically got 5 attacking players. And our number 6 can also push up and our defense can also push up. So it makes a hell of a lot of difference to the entire team from how we start at the back. If we were playing 5 at the back and we soaked the pressure, I guarantee you we would not be playing like what we did and not be getting this scoreline. So, top performance and elements, didn't need to do much, but reply present and positioning, he was there. Also made the required saves from set pieces. We just didn't give Manchester City a sniff. Then on to our fullbacks. Now, we shot ourselves in the foot with Diego Dalot and Luke Shaw at fullback, making fouls earlier on. That's a criticism, yes, but let me heap the praise on them. They dealt with the situation brilliantly. To get, I think, within the first half an hour, they had both got their yellow cards, roughly. And to play the rest of the hour and some minutes, I think there was like 8 or 9 minutes of injury time, with first half and second half probably 10 other minutes. So we're talking 100 minutes of football, 70 minutes of football left to be played. They've done that not just brilliantly, but they've contributed to the team. Also needed the other players to join in with them, which we did. So, give praise where praise needs to be. I thought Diego Dalot and Luke Shaw, after those initial yellow cards, went on to play well, to adapt to the game and continue put pressure on Manchester City. Now, I do also think there is an element of Michael Carrick in that, because I don't think I've seen Diego Dalot and Luke Shaw, but particularly Diego Dalot, go out as aggressive as that. Now, he's not that kind of player, which is why he ended up risking it. I thought it was a bad challenge on Doku. Is giving the referee a decision to make. And while I don't think the referee had a great game, he ended up only giving a yellow card for that one. I must see it again. But it was a clean... it wasn't two-footed, I guess, so that's something which is mitigating. But it was a clear studs-up challenge on Doku. And you can see his foot. You can see his tibia being pressed. I don't think it was because it was not two-footed and both feet off the ground, he can't get a red card for that, but I still think it's a dangerous challenge to make. Anyway, they get their props. And now Maguire. I thought he had a steady game. He played well. That pivot in the right side of our defense between Dalot and Maguire was my biggest question mark. And my goodness, did we answer that. because I thought Maguire had a really good, steady game where he stepped out when needed and he cleared things up. Well done to Maguire. He's had a good season so far. Alongside him, Martinez. Now, prior to this match, leading up to this match, we had experts in Nicky Butt. It's a bit of a gobshite, to be very honest with you. He's one of our really good players, or good players, should we say. But Nicky Butt, for all his talent, and he did have talent, people talk about it, he never really made an impact in this Man United career. I mean, what is Nicky Butt's claim to fame? His best mates with Paul Scholes. And he's the joker in the United squad at that time, the prankster. For him to come up and say that Erling Haaland would be carrying Martinez around, I thought Martinez needed to come out and give a statement performance. And my goodness, did he do that. He was tenacious, strong, out-jumped everyone in front. Martinez was the butcher. Brilliant performance. And more than scoring a third goal, I just wanted United to keep a clean sheet, because that clean sheet is going to be the bedrock and the foundation of future performances, future results. Absolutely. Listen, when De Ligt comes back, I think De Ligt's got to take Maguire's place. But on tonight's performance, Maguire and Martinez work well as as a pair. Maguire did well, but again, we've got to take past performances in account, and I think Maguire's got a mistake in him. So, but I'm very, very happy to see Martinez stay fit again, give the performance that he did, and more importantly, not allow Erling Haaland a sniff, because everyone leading up to this game was talking about Haaland versus Martinez. It's that big versus small guy. I think Martinez is only 5'10", which for a defender is not big. Erling Haaland is 6'4", probably 6'3", 6'4". We're talking half a foot of difference. That's not easy, guys. And Erling Haaland did not have a sniff. So well done, Martinez. We've spoken about Shaw. He had the top performance. And now the midfield. Casemiro. He was the furthest man on one or two occasions and should have scored against Donnarumma. That was the point which I thought, my goodness, how is Donnarumma? How is this match still goalless? And I came on and I did a piece. Hopefully that acted exactly just like the jinx. Because as I finished that little piece, we went on and scored. But a top performance by Casemiro. I think on his day again, he needs to have legs around him. And when he does, he performs. He's the best number 6 in the team, in the squad. And if he gets the right support, we'll get on to that. If he gets the right support, I think he can have a long career or longer career at United. Well done to him. And Kobe Mainu. All right, we're seeing some comments come in. Etta, can you please sing happy birthday? Well, happy birthday to you, Etta. I'm not sure if my singing skills are quite as good, but thank you very much for loving the channel. And both you and Tedward saying hi. Thank you both. All right. Kobe Mainu. Now, the first half, I've got to be honest, he went under the radar purely because we had so many attacking opportunities, chances, didn't quite fall to him. Thank you, Tedward. It didn't quite fall to Kobe Mainu. But in the second half, I paid attention. I paid a little bit more attention to him. And I must say, players like St. Elements and the positions that they're playing, or even the 6 and the 8 today for Man United, a lot of their performance is on their positioning, on their intelligence and their movement. So you won't see them at the end of runs necessarily, or one-on-ones in the key in front of the keeper and creating those chances. But Kobe Mainu probably had his best performance this season in a United shirt, in my opinion. He didn't give the ball away. He was always on that half turn, receiving it from Casemiro, receiving it from the defenders, and passing it on. The best thing about Kobe Mainu, and which is what he should be looking to do, is to continue these one touch, two touch football, pass and move, pass and move. If he does that, I think he's definitely got a slot in this team. And long may it continue. I hope we get to see more of this starting lineup or similar kind of like setup to what we had today. And now we go on to the attack. How did we perform? Well, first of all, Mbeumo, welcome back to Old Trafford. Welcome back to Man United. We have missed you. And who else to open the scoring for Man United? Mbeumo already had 6 goals. He left 4 months and he still came back, still the top scorer for Man United. He got played by Bruno again. Who else? One-on-one with Donnarumma, slots the ball. Lovely, lovely finish. And I think once we scored that first goal, maybe it was premature, but in my heart, I knew we would go and win. Because of the steadiness that the defense, the goalkeeper, and even the midfield had given us, we go 1-0 up, and we know that United don't have to do much else. I said this at half time. What do we do? More of the same. Because I don't think we could have done much more than we did. I don't think Man City made mistakes and gave us chances. I thought we set out really well. We went out, played well, and executed. We just lacked that final ball and obviously the finish to boot. So when Mbeumo was played one-on-one, played through by Bruno, and slotted it in, I knew we were in a great shape to score, to win the match. Perfect performance. And from then on, I actually think, of course, Man City came a little bit more into the game. They probably had a couple of snapshots, but really I knew we could have gone on to score the second and the third, and we got the second. Great ball by Cunha, assist by Cunha, and finish by Patrick Dorgu, which again, for me, he was the joker in the squad at left front. Didn't know what to get, but I'm very, very happy for Dorgu, guys. This is 2 matches that he's played as a forward, right and left, and he scored 2 goals. Brilliant performance. Really like the guy. I think for a young player, it's a lot easier to play in attack, creating, not worrying about giving the ball away. And he's benefited from me. Talking about not worrying about giving the ball away, Bruno Fernandes. What a performance from him today. He did not have to worry about tracking back. He didn't have to worry about who he has to mark. They were worrying about him. And listen, he's the captain. He's always going to run. But I much prefer Bruno Fernandes making those forward runs, trying to close the keeper when we've got our, right and left forward taking on the fullbacks, or maybe closing the midfielder. I'd much rather him doing that than running the other way. And today you saw, with a bit of confidence, Bruno Fernandes made those switches of play. Things that he was not doing in a pivot in the midfield, he was doing as a number 10. What a performance. And for me, straight away, a man of the match performance by Bruno. I hope Carrick can continue to play him in that position. And guys, we had 17 matches left. Let me just have a look at the table. We had 17 finals left. We've won our first one. Right? We've won our first one. We've got 16 left. What does this leave us in the table? Well, Man United have after 3 draws and a defeat in the FA Cup, we've just got our first victory today. And what a victory. Very, very gutted that last goal didn't get credited to Man United. Big pass by Cunha again, who could have had his second assist for the day, and a finish by Mason Mount. But not to be. But it's still a win. Now this takes us into 4th spot, join on points with Liverpool, with 2 goal difference ahead. So we need Liverpool to lose to maintain that position, or else we'll be in 5th spot, depending on Brentford and Newcastle. But it's a good win. It's a really good win by Man United. And now the pressure is on for 2nd spot, guys, because I think Arsenal will win and Arsenal will go over 50 points. I think they've got this league sewn up. Hard to see how Arsenal, even that North London crumble pie, very, very hard to see how they bottle the league from here. 2nd spot's all to play for. Manchester City, Aston Villa, both on 43 points. Man United on 35, Liverpool on 35, yet to play. And we're closing in on a Champions League spot. So 16 games to go. Wish Carrick, wish Man United all the best. All right, so Asha, do you like England? Absolutely. We'll be cheering on the World Cup. David Beckham, brilliant. Top bloke, and obviously no surprises there, but Man United. Okay, let's get into the player ratings, guys. We've spoken about the team. I don't think we had too many. Did we have 3 substitutes? Let me quickly just confirm that. We had 4 substitutes in the end. I think the most important one for me was obviously Cunha coming in for Mbeumo, because like I mentioned, Mbeumo played as a number 9, and Cunha, even though initially he was brought in as a left-sided number 10 to replace Rashford, I don't see him as a winger, and he's not really owned that position. He's not finished quite as well. So him coming in for Mbeumo and giving a chance at number 9, that was good to see what he can contribute in that position if you get other people involved, etc. And he nearly had 2 assists. He had 1, he nearly had 2 assists. So that was very important. I'm glad to see Ugarte came on for Casemiro, who had given everything. I think Casemiro is someone who has a good 65, 70 minutes in him, not quite the full 90. And I think we should manage him right. So Manuel Ugarte came on, and guys, Mason Mount and Aiden Heaven came in on stoppage time. Mason Mount nearly got himself a goal. So let's go into the player ratings for today. Senna Lamens for me gets a 7. Big game match. It's the atmosphere. It's the occasion. He didn't necessarily get called upon to make big saves, but his positioning, he responded positive to everything that was thrown at him, whatever little was thrown at him. But also, it's that cool, calm presence that Rio Ferdinand keeps talking about Edwin van der Sar. This is why Edwin van der Sar is the best keeper for Rio Ferdinand, and I think Senna Lamens is very much cut from that same cloth. David De Gea provided that cool calmness, stature, the back of the defense. Senna Lamens did the same. Didn't flap. He was big in the set pieces. And listen, he also contributed into he's good with his feet. When needed, he is that additional player that we can play with. So he gets a 7 out of 10. Luke Shaw, in the end, for me, is also a 7 out of 10. I was worried about Luke Shaw with that yellow card. But listen, he played his heart out. He played well, joined in the attack. There were some brilliant moves on that left-hand side there. Luke Shaw with Bruno Fernandes, Dorgu, crosses in. He did well. Lisandro Martinez, for me, he gets an 8. Look, completely pocketed Erling Haaland. Haaland who, right? Martinez was the guy, one of the contenders for man of the match. Harry Maguire, another big contender for man of the match, 7.5. Did really well. Should have scored that header. If he gets that header, he gets an 8 plus for me. But a big presence on set pieces, done well today, well deserved a clean sheet. And Diego Dalot, I'll give Diego Dalot a 7 as well. I thought, listen, he was the weakest player. It's a bit of generous, maybe 6.5. I'll give him a generous. I don't think I'll give anyone less than a 7 today. After being the weakest player in the first half, I thought he put in some great crosses in that second half, straight at the back of the second half, put in a brilliant whipping, brilliant cross. It was just too far ahead for Mbeumo, but I thought Dorgu, with a bit of a better timing, could have tapped it in into an empty net. There was 3 Man United players coming across, and on the outside of Dorgu was Luke Shaw. So Diego Dalot put in some decent, good crosses, found Amad Diallo. That's something else. Now that Amorim is gone and he doesn't have these favoritisms, or Carrick doesn't have these favoritisms yet, you can see that Dalot knows that he is a defender. He's a right back. Give the ball to people who can make an effect. Quit that long throw and all of that crap. And when he did that, he stuck to defending. He was a better player. He attacked when needed, put in the crosses. Better second half from him. I think overall, I would have given him maybe a 5.5 in the first half and a 7.5 in the second half, or 8 in the second half. I'll round it off and be generous to him, give him a 7. Kobe Mainu, 7.5. He was the number 8. He did well, progressed the ball, received it on the turn, didn't give the ball away. Brilliant player. Casemiro, our number 6. For me, he gets an 8. He shielded that defense. He sniffed up any attacks, potential attacks from Manchester City. I think their best period probably came in the second half, around the kind of like 50, 55 minutes. There was a period and Casemiro sat in. He knew when to allow Manchester City to play. And as soon as he made the 2 lines of the back 4 and the midfield very, very narrow, very tough for Manchester City to break, I give him an 8. Patrick Dorgu, great performance. I give him an 8.5. I think he was brilliant as a forward. Caused them non-stop aggro, question marks. I think Ake in the end got the run around. Lewis came on straight away. He came on and he got O'Reilly, as soon as he came on, he got a yellow card, I think. Lewis, they got given the runaround, guys, and I think a lot of that was down to our forwards who need to be generous with the points. So Patrick Dorgu, an 8. We'll give him an 8. And Bruno Fernandes, for me, is our best player, man of the match. What a goal that would have been, guys. What a goal from Bruno Fernandes. He was given offside, but he sat down the defense, rounded the keeper, tapped it in. It was rolling back the years like an R9. Great player. 9 out of 10. Best player on the pitch. And my man of the match, Bruno Fernandes. Amad Diallo, another exceptional effort. He's just come back from the African Cup of Nations. His team's out. Guys, this also plays on your morale. Imagine England being out and then the next week turning up and playing for Man United. It's tricky. Give them their props. top performance, pulled out saves. He made Donnarumma a brilliant make a brilliant save, and then he hit the post. He was knackered, Amad Diallo, by the end of it. 8.5. And then Buemo, finally, again, another Capo Africans Cup returnee. Brilliant performance again. Led the line brilliantly. I think you know, Shesko doesn't get back straight into this team with Embuemo up top. I think he could be playing a lot more at number 9. But of course, today was the first game. Let's see if the rest of the league and the rest of the teams catch up, figure him out. Top performance, 8.5 again. Vertiday Gaming, big fan of football. Yes, I am. And no, not supporting Arsenal, Asha. It's Man United. Let's look at the substitutes. We made 4 out of 5 substitutes available. First one was Matheus Cunha. I thought he had a good game when he came on. Provided 1 assist, could and should have been 2. I think get 7.5 for me. Really good work by the forwards. The forwards were brilliant today. Something that I don't think we've had much of a chance and opportunity to say about Man United forwards in general. Mason Mount, the other one, he came on 91 minutes, so not much of an opportunity for him to shine, but I'm still going to give him a 7. Got at the back of a cross, tapped it in. Great to see. Manu Ugarte came in instead of Casemiro. I think he gets a 7 as well. Because that last 10 minutes, City threw all whatever they had at United, and we had to contain and protect a 2-goal advantage, and we did that rather comfortably. So a 7 out of 10. And lastly, Aiden Heaven didn't have a chance to make too much of an impact, didn't concede, 6.5. Finally, the manager, Michael Carrick. I don't think he's done anything wrong, and he gets a 9 out of 10. I don't think Carrick could have done anything more, and he had big decisions. Questionable decisions, some of them. Questionable in the sense as in they're not gimmies. Eyebrows were raised. I wasn't sure myself. Benjamin Sesko not playing. Got proven right, Michael Carrick. And Mbeumo came in and did a fabulous job. Diallo and Mbeumo coming back from Africa, slotted straight back into the team. Carrick stayed with a 4 at the back, brought in Maguire. Everything that Carrick did and made a change was positive. He gets his flowers. 9 out of 10, Michael Carrick. Fans were brilliant. I thought 10 on 10. I'll give it, 9 on 10 fans. I'm not giving anyone higher than Bruno. 9 on 10 fans. I thought it was one of the best atmospheres at Man United. I think in the commentary they mentioned how it was probably the best atmosphere this season at Old Trafford. I think we had a couple of other similar kind of atmospheres under Amorim. Can't record them at the top of my head, but brilliant atmosphere. It was great to see Sir Alex Ferguson, with a huge smile on his face. Love the guy. He's the godfather of Old Trafford. No matter what idiots like Keane will say, we want him at Old Trafford. Great to see the big man smile, and the United fans responded. We completely dominated them, from our fans to our players and manager, everyone. And lastly, the referee. I mentioned he didn't have his best performance, in my opinion. He didn't give Dorgu anything. He gave him a yellow card, punished him, didn't give any decisions, any favours for Dorgu. I think he was I don't know what was his issue really with Dorgu, but I think, in my opinion, certainly the first half, he was way harsher on Man United. But at the same time, he didn't give a red card. He could have been carried away and given a red card. Be great to see if this tackle was made at the Etihad Stadium, whether whether a red card gets produced or not by Diego Dalot. But anyway, I'm glad he only showed him a yellow card, and I think in general he let the game flow. So it's not perfect, but it was good enough. So 7.5 for the referee. I think that concludes today. We've got another 9 matches this weekend. Let's quickly take a look. Underway today, you've got Chelsea hosting Brentford, Leeds hosting Fulham, Liverpool hosting Burnley, Sunderland versus Crystal Palace, and Spurs take on West Ham. So I'll be on following those matches 11 minutes in. They're all 0-0 at the moment, no goals scored, and then later on you've got Nottingham Forest welcoming Arsenal. I think Arsenal will be having a big incentive to now go on and win at Forest and then push on to win for the title. United can only do our job. We've done it. We've beaten Man City. We've silenced the noisy neighbours. I think it's only the second win in 11 matches. So they're very few and far between, but we're going to cherish this and enjoy it, savor it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you on the next